Today, I'm at the Kentucky State Fair. We're going to see tractors, we're going to see tobacco plants, we're going to see more deep fried things than you ever knew existed. Welcome to my hometown, y'all. Hello, y'all. I'm msworld, also known as Casey, and my goal is to show you how to travel around the world in style and on a budget. Today, we're at the Kentucky State Fair. Kentucky has held the state fair for over 100 years, and it's one of the largest state fairs in the U.S. And yes, it's a little bit country. A lot of country. Okay, so it's super country. You will see cowboy hats, cowboy boots. There's actually a giant cowboy statue guy that will speak to you. He's right over there. The shuttles that take you from the parking lots to the fairgrounds are tractors. There's a horse competition or event of some kind every single day, and no matter what you want to eat, it's probably going to be deep fried first. And I'm not mad at any of these things. State fairs are supposed to be country, and they're supposed to be deep fried. So if that's the vibe you're looking for, the search is over. The Kentucky State Fair has all the elements you want, but our fair actually has some cool extra features that make this one of the best state fairs in the entire country. I know you think maybe I'm biased because this is my state, but what's great about the Kentucky State Fair is where it's held, which, yes, happens to be my home city. I live like 20 minutes away from here, but I have been to other state fairs, and what you're going to love about this one is that a lot of it is inside. Yes, inside. That means nice, large buildings and nice air-conditioned spaces. Kentucky has a pretty great fairgrounds as far as these things go, and a whole lot of the fair can be enjoyed indoors. One of my favorite things to do here, and one I recommend to everyone, is the shopping area. An entire wing of the fairgrounds is dedicated to this area, which is basically like a huge flea market. There are a ton of booths set up, and you can buy everything from cell phone accessories to designer handbags to luxury perfumes, jewelry, toys, whatever. There's a super popular candy booth here, and I never come here without visiting the gourmet dog treat guy. I have a good boy at home. It's all inside, and it actually even has its own food court. I usually get something from this inside food court every year, as well as a few things from the main outside food court. That's not to be confused with the Midway food court. We're at the Kentucky State Fair. 3 food courts doesn't even really begin to cover it. I haven't even told y'all about the beer tents yet. Food is a huge part of the fair. It's such a big part of it, in fact, that I have an entire video coming up just about the food. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can come back for the second week of the fair, and we're going to be doing some eating. The fair always lasts for 10 days in mid to late August, so make sure you plan your road trip accordingly so you can come and join me in the middle of all the fun. Because there's more here to do than shopping, though honestly you will find enough shopping here to keep you busy for an entire day. Another thing I love to do here is to take a look at the exhibits. The exhibit wing is enormous, and I'm actually here every year because I sometimes compete in the fair. Yes, I am a ribbon-winning baker here at the fair, and yes, I make sure to tell everyone that every single time I am here. The exhibits area covers a lot of competition. There's an entire agricultural section where you will see huge tobacco plants because, yes, we grow a lot of that here. You'll also find the culinary area, which is where I compete as a baker, and all sorts of cool crafting and art contests. I always make it a point to take a look at the dollhouses because they're really interesting, and you can usually find some sort of weird, fun stuff in the crafting area. There's also an enormous art competition that includes photography, which means you can walk through a huge gallery of all sorts of art, and it's actually one of my favorite parts of the fair. Once again, all of this is inside. There's also a huge indoor section that includes the Pride of the Counties display. This is where you can visit a booth for 120 of Kentucky's counties. This area has a lot of stuff for kids, like the petting zoo area, and it's where you can see the firefighters and police officers and a whole bunch of booths where they will give out free little tote bags and other swag. So you swing through here for sure to grab the freebies. You can see and do a lot at the fair without ever going outside, but there is a lot to see out there too. This is where you can find the beer tents I mentioned earlier, which also serve food and have live music. Most of the performance areas are outside as well. You can see a lot of different types of shows here, like the biking guys we were looking at earlier in this video. Magicians, aerialists, extreme sports pros, you could find all of that here. One year, some people brought some actual bears with them. It really kind of freaked me out. There is one of these shows that I make it a point to see every year, and it's one of the most popular shows of the entire fair. It gets seriously crowded, so you have to show up early if you want a place to sit. The Border Collie Show is held every year in the West Wing area of the fair, so it is an indoor show. However, the West Wing is notorious for being where the animals are kept. So to see the Border Collies, you will walk past a lot of cows, pigs, and sheep. They're indoors, and the smells are real. There is poop, like actual animal poop on the floor. You may see animals actually pooping while you're here. This is where you can find the farmers and livestock people who are here to sell and buy animals. So they have tents and sometimes whole entire living rooms set up in their small areas of the West Wing. So this is as real as your Kentucky State Fair experience is going to get. But the Border Collie Show is actually awesome, and it's a huge fan favorite. One of the main attractions of the fair is, of course, the rides and the games. All of this stuff is in the area of the fair known as the Midway. It's huge, and there's plenty to do here. The Midway is all outside, so it's best if you come here a little bit later in the day, because the heat in Kentucky is no joke. The Midway is open later than the rest of the fair, so you can wait until the worst of the August summer day is over before you head over and start to enjoy the attractions here. No matter what you do at the fair, and I definitely recommend doing a little bit of everything, you're going to get hungry. So make sure you check out my video on food at the Kentucky State Fair because seeing is believing. Subscribe to the channel and join me for that next week. Until then, thank you for watching and thank you for taking the journey with me. Now, Voyager, sail forth to seek and find.